So I use a few different platforms to do my designs. I'll use Canva quite a bit, but a lot of times I will also use my Cricut Design Space, which I'm going to be using for the purpose of this tutorial. So in order to make sure that my design fits perfectly onto the notebook, I'll begin by incorporating a rectangle shape into, and adjusting its dimensions to those of the actual notebook that I'm using. So my width of this is 5.75 and my height is 8.125. So you'll want to make sure you check the dimensions of yours as well. And then because my notebook is white, I'm just going to change this to white for now. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do is, if you've already loaded your image into Design Space, then the next step involves placing it onto your canvas and then integrating it within the notebook shape. So from here, you're going to resize your image so that it fits where you want. And then where do you want it on your cover? Do you want it to be in the middle? Do you want it to be up here? Do you want it to be down here? Wherever you want to put it, or however big you want to put it, is what you're going to do. And then before you go ahead and print, I'm going to delete that. I would normally delete this square. So I'll delete that. And then I would normally send it to my printer. But in this case, I'm actually decided that I want to put on a background. So I've already uploaded a background that I want to use. So I will also add that to my canvas, and then I'm going to adjust the dimensions of my background to the same size that I had before for my workbook. So 5.75 and 8.125, and then that again is the size of my notebook. And then I'm going to bring over my design. I'm going to bring it to the front, and then again adjust how big that I want it and where do I want to put it. I think I'm just going to put mine in the center approximately. Adjust the size of it so that when it prints, it'll look like that. So now I'm just going to capture both of those. I'm going to click flatten, and then I'm going to send it to my printer. So when the design comes out of your printer, you're going to notice the registration marks from Cricut Design Space. It's crucial to remove these marks to prevent black ink from transferring onto your notebook during sublimation. However, you still want to preserve some of the paper edges to wrap the design around the front page smoothly. So what I'll do is I'll just cut out the registration marks, leaving that edge of the paper still intact. You want to make sure that your image lies flat and securely on your notebook to avoid slipping during the heat pressing, which can cause blurring or ghosting. Now, I want you to keep in mind that if you're not using a background and you're just using the In My Crafting Era image, I still highly recommend using a full sheet of paper. I know it's a waste of money to use a whole piece of paper. However, it's also a waste to ruin your sublimation notebook. The sublimation notebook is more than a cost of the piece of paper. So you want to use the full sheet so that when you if you only cut out the image and you lay it on, the impression of the edges of the paper will be left on the sublimation of your notebook, and you will notice the edges of the paper. So next you're going to line up your image to the front cover of your sublimation notebook. So you want to make sure that you know where the actual edge of the notebook is, because you don't want it to overlap onto the spine of your notebook. So you're just going to line it up over top, and then once it's straight and in position, you're going to fold all the edges of your paper onto the inside of your notebook and then secure with the heat transfer tape. Your paper is going to be very securely taped so that it doesn't slip around during the heat pressing. I also want to make a note that you'll notice that the tape that I used, I secured it all to the inside of the cover. Depending on what kind of heat transfer tape you use, like the kind I'm using right now, the yellow will transfer onto the front, so that's why I'm not securing any of it onto the front of the notebook at all. I'm doing it all on the inside. So you're going to preset your heat to 375 and you're going to sublimate for 40 seconds. So you're going to, before you put it into the heat press, most of the notebooks come with this little center piece of cardboard because there's a dip in between the front cover and the back cover with the cardboard. So it's good to put it there just in case there is any overlap onto the spine. But if you're putting a design on the back as well and you want it to go seamlessly, putting that cardboard piece will definitely help. So when ready to go, I always put parchment paper over top because you want to make sure that any ink that leaks through doesn't get onto your Teflon sheet. So then I put my Teflon sheet on over top. You're just going to use medium pressure and you're going to sublimate, as I said previously, at 375 for anywhere from 40 to 45 seconds. Okay, and then when your time is run out, you're going to lift up the plate and slide it over. Remove your Teflon sheet, which is stuck to the top of mine, and the parchment paper. And then, very carefully, you're going to take your book. You don't want very much movement in it because you don't want any ghosting. So I just flip it over and then I hold it down and I take off the tape. The tape is slightly melted, so it actually makes it easier to lift it up. But I hold the front of the cover down. I lift up the tape. And then in one fell swoop, I lift up the book. And there you have it. It's so beautiful. So now for the assembly of your book, you're going to take the pages that go into your notebook. You're going to find if there's a bookmark with yours. Not all of them have it, but if you do, you want to make sure that it goes on the top of your book. So you're going to position the insides, your pages into the inside of your notebook, and you're going to line up the top, the bottom, and the sides of your book, and you're going to make sure that it's all placed where it's supposed to be. Once you have it where you want it to be, you're going to lay it down on your surface and then open up the book. And then the notebook has like two-sided adhesive, so you're going to remove the top part of the adhesive, and then you're going to lay your front cover down over top of it and then press it firmly in place. And then flip it over, and then you're going to repeat. You're going to remove that sheet of paper as well to expose the sticky. And then you're going to close your back cover as well, and then press it firmly in place. And now you have the pages within your notebook. So there you have it. If you enjoyed that, or if you'd like to look at the digital images that we have or other items we have for sale, please don't hesitate to come to our website, www.jslcraftsco.com. Thanks for watching.